Okay, picture this. A kind of tranquil sanctuary, but it's right there on the edge of Kuala Lumpur's buzzing center. We're talking about Sunway Belfield. It's freehold, a service residence, and just 800 meters from Merdeka 118. You know, the tower that's about to be the second tallest in the world. So today, we're really digging into the details, pulling out the key stuff from all the material out there for you, whether you're thinking of investing or maybe living there yourself. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and what really jumps out, I think, is the developer behind it, Sunway Group. They're not just building condos. They position themselves as a master community developer. They have this pretty unique build-own-operate approach.
Right, the build and operate. That means they're involved in more than just the building itself.
Exactly. Schools, hospitals, retail. They manage a lot of the surrounding ecosystem. It creates this synergy and, potentially de-risks things a bit for buyers.
Yeah.
Plus, they have their Sunway Property Plus program. Care plus M, rent plus M reward, plus M adds another layer.
Okay, Sunway's a huge name here in KL, obviously. They often top those developer awards, like the Edge Malaysia's List #2 in 2024, I believe. High QLASIC scores, too, usually.
That's right, strong track record.
But playing devil's advocate for a second, no developer's perfect, right?
Mhm.
Even with the awards, have there been maybe some murmurs about past projects, things potential buyers should keep an eye on?
That's fair. And yeah, while the integrated model is a plus, like any major developer, they've had instances where buyers raised issues, sometimes build quality concerns initially, or maybe management hiccups later on. It really just highlights that, due diligence is always crucial, even with the big players.
Good point. Okay, let's shift to the location itself. Kampanga Tap. It's got this interesting mix. On one hand, it feels quite green and historical right now, almost like that peaceful retreat idea they market.
It does have that pocket of calm.
But it's also squeezed between major roads. So, traffic. That's got to be a factor, right? How does that external reality mesh with the sanctuary promise?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Because the huge elephant, or maybe skyscraper in the room, is Merdeka 118. It's only 800 meters away. And it's not just tall. It's what people are calling a gentrification play. It's meant to completely lift the entire area.
So driving up value, capital appreciation potential.
Exactly. That's the big draw. Potential for significant capital gains and likely increased rental demand, too, fueled by everything happening around Merdeka 118.
But could that massive development also, increase density like crazy, maybe even start to feel less like a sanctuary outside the gates?
That's the trade-off in urban renewal, definitely. Density will increase. But the connectivity here helps offset some of that. You're only about a 400-meter walk, they say, to the Mahara-Tulela monorail station.
Oh, okay. That's pretty close.
Yeah, and that line takes you straight to KL Central, the main transport hub, or the other way to Bukit Bintang for shopping and all that. It genuinely makes a car-light lifestyle seem, well, actually possible here. You could potentially ditch the car for a lot of trips.
Right, zipping around on the monorail instead of sitting in traffic. I get that appeal. Okay, so that's the outside picture. What about inside Sunway Belfield? They talk about sky homes. What does that mean practically?
It's their design concept. They've focused on layouts that feel more like semi-detached houses or bungalows in the sky. Crucially, only 10 units per floor. That really bumps up the feeling of privacy and space compared to denser developments. Plus, it's got Green RE Gold certification, so there's a nod to sustainability features, too.
10 units per floor is quite low. And the facilities, I saw a list nearly 30 of them. That sounds like a lot.
It is. They're aiming for that self-contained vertical community feel. You've got the usual pools and gyms, but also things like a treehouse, kind of unique. And notably, a co-working space. That feels very current, right, for the whole hybrid work thing.
Yeah, definitely forward-thinking.
And then there's the rooftop sky deck. You get those panoramic KL views, including, of course, Merdeka 118 right there. It really ties the whole package together.
Okay. Let's talk brass tacks, the investment side. What were the numbers looking like?
Well, the launch price was competitive, starting around RM 750 per square foot. And the initial take-up was strong, even during the MCO lockdown period. Tower A hit something like 80% sales in just 3 months. Shows good market confidence. The estimated gross rental yield is projected around 4.71%.
4.71% gross. Sounds decent. But, are there any catches, hidden costs investors need to factor in?
Yes, absolutely. And this is a big one. It's got a commercial title, not residential. That means utility bills, water, electricity are significantly higher. Same for assessment rates, parcel rent, It definitely eats into your net yield, and it's something investors really need to calculate.
Ah, the commercial title trap. That's crucial.
It is. And also think about handover. There are 1,330 units in total across the towers. When they all come online around the same time, you'll likely see some pretty stiff short-term rental competition. So the play here realistically is more about that medium to long-term capital appreciation, banking on the Merdeka 118 effect, transforming the area.
Makes sense. Okay, switching hats to a homeowner. What's the appeal for someone actually living there day to day?
Convenience is a major factor. For families, having SJKC, Kuncheng, just a 400-meter walk away is huge. And being only 800 meters from Chinatown means food, culture, general vibrancy is right on your doorstep.
So it brings us back to that tranquility paradox you mentioned earlier.
Exactly. Inside the gates, with the low density, the facilities, the design, they're really aiming for that peaceful retreat vibe. But step outside and you're in a development hotspot. It's going to get denser, busier. The external environment will keep evolving. The sanctuary is mainly within the development itself.
Right. So bringing it all together then, what's the final takeaway for someone listening, trying to decide if this fits their goals?
Okay, for an investor, I'd say it's a strategic bet, medium to long term. You're banking on urban renewal, on Merdeka 118 lifting values, probably better liquidity with the smaller, maybe two-bedroom units, but watch those commercial title costs. For a homeowner, you're buying into a premium lifestyle. It's highly connected, packed with facilities, very convenient. But you need to be realistic, comfortable with the fact that the area outside is changing, becoming more urbanized.
So it really makes you think, doesn't it? In a city like KL that's densifying so fast, what does sanctuary even mean anymore? Can a place truly be both a quiet escape and right in the thick of dynamic city growth? What really stands out to you from all this? Something to chew on.